Hey guys, what's up? It's Clay. Today, I'm just going to be doing an updated kind of DVD and Blu-ray collection video. I'm not going to show you my entire collection again because I just did that a few months ago. I'm just going to show you some of the new movies that I've gotten since then that I have with me. These are just the cases because obviously the discs are in these. Which have all the cases in them, but I have the empty cases. These are just the ones I have with me. I did get a bunch more that I don't have here, so I'll go over those at the end of the video. But the ones I have here, I'm gonna go through and show you. I have this row here, and then I have another stack of cases here. I didn't buy all of these recently, but I got them recently and I just never had time to put them away like while I was at home. So once I got back to school and got settled in, then I put all these DVDs into these cases, and I just have the empty cases here which I'll have to take back home. But anyways, let's go ahead and just go over some of these. This one I already showed in the last video, the Abbott and Costello show. I had the disc here, but this had a different disc in it, which is why the case is here. So yeah, The Accountant, starring Ben Affleck. It seemed interesting, and I've heard mixed reviews on this, so I wanted to check it out. And I finally got it, and so I haven't watched it yet, but I will check it out. But that's The Accountant. Next is The Addams Family, the new animated one. I wanted to see this in theaters, but I went and saw Gemini Man instead, and I didn't get to see this, so I bought it when it came out on DVD. I haven't seen this Addams Family movie, but I have seen the Addams Family, plays and stuff, so I know what the gist of the movie is. But I do want to watch this. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Next is Ants, which is pretty much DreamWorks' version of A Bug's Life. It's literally like the same thing. You can see there's the ants and then all the enemies and stuff. But you can see I got it has the sticker from Walmart from the 374 bin. But yeah, I like this movie. I have watched this. Not recently, but I have seen it. I did like this, and I also like A Bug's Life, so I like both of them. This is Better Off Dead, starring John Cusack. I had this. I just, for whatever reason, forgot to put it in my case. So yeah, but I haven't seen this. But I'm a fan of John Cusack, so I figured I'd check it out. Again, just like Abbott and Costello, the Bigfoot Wars, this was in my other video, but this case had another extra disc from one of the other movies or something like that in it, so I brought it with me so I could put that disc in with the other one, so that's why the case is here. Black Hawk Down. Again, heard mixed reviews on this. Haven't seen it yet. It won two Academy Awards for 2001 with Best Film Editing and Best Sound. And it has Ewan McGregor in it and some other people. I wanted to check it out, and I got it. I just haven't seen it yet. Then we have this one, Break, which is these people get trapped, I guess 11,000 feet in the air on like a ski lift thing, whatever these things are called, and they have to try and survive while they're there. So it was like a unique concept for a movie. But yeah, I haven't watched it yet, but it sounded interesting, and it was like $5 at Walmart, so I was like, alright, I'll check it out. Next is Brokeback Mountain. Again, just like with Better Off Dead, I had this, and I just never put it in my cases. I don't know why, but yeah, this is the Clint Eastwood 4-film collection. It's got A Fistful of Dollars, For a Few Dollars More, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and Hang 'em High. I've seen bits and pieces of a few of these. I haven't actually watched all of them yet, but I do like Clint Eastwood, and I do like some of his movies. And my dad told me that some of these would be good, so I do want to check those out. I just haven't yet. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 1 and 2, the 2-pack. This was, I think, $5 at Walmart. I like the first one. I've never seen the second one, so I want to check it out. Maybe it'll be as good as the first one. This is one that I've been wanting to get for a while. Clue. It's based off the board game Clue. Where you have to figure out who did it with what weapon and in what room on the board they did it in. And that's pretty much what this is about. It stars Tim Curry, Christopher Lloyd, and some other people, so that's kind of cool. But this was like the original Knives Out. That's how I think of it. Knives Out I really enjoyed. That was more of like a comedy though than an actual like mystery thing, but I've wanted to check this one out. I've heard good things about this, and I found it for cheap, so I was okay with buying it. Haven't watched it yet, but I do want to check it out. This is Code 8. This just came out recently. It stars Robbie Amell, who plays The Flash on the TV series The Flash, Stephen Amell, who plays Green Arrow on the TV show Arrow, and then Sung Kang, which I don't know who that is, but this seemed interesting. It's I think Stephen Amell plays the criminal or whatever, and Robbie is the cop, I think, or vice versa. But one of them's a cop, one of them's the bad guy, and they have to like try and fight each other. But this slip cover for this looks really cool. I mean, it's the same as the actual cover. It's just this one looks really cool based off the description on the back. So I figured I'd check it out because it was only like $5. Again, this was also in my previous video, but the case had another disc in it that was Coneheads. Tim Burton's The Corpse Bride. I've wanted to watch this one for a while, and I found it for $3.74 at Walmart in the bin. That's my favorite bin, and I don't care. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I like to buy movies from the cheap bins at Walmart, because I like movies, and if you can get them for cheap, why not, right? But this has always been one of the Tim Burton movies that I've actually wanted to watch, and I never could because I could never find it. I know I could have looked online, but I was always, if I was going to buy movies, I was going to buy other ones, and then I found it. I'm like, alright, I'll pick it up while I see it. Next is Countdown. This I heard good things about. Basically, this woman finds an app that tells people like when they're gonna die, like how much longer they have to live, and so she finds out that she has like 3 days left or something like that to live, and so she decides to try to prevent her death from happening. She has to figure out like ways that she could die, and then has to try and prevent it from happening or something like that. And it sounded interesting, and I've heard good things about it, and I want to check it out. I haven't gotten to it yet, but it is definitely on my list coming up soon for things to check out. This is The Courier, starring Olga Kurylenko and Gary Oldman. This to me reminds me of the movie The Transporter, starring Jason Statham. That's pretty much what it is. Olga Kurylenko is she's a courier, which means she she takes stuff from one place to another. And Gary Oldman plays the crime boss, I think is what it says on the back. And he ends up he ends up fighting against her or whatever. So I mean, it's different than the movie The Transporter, but it just gives me that vibe of The Transporter, and I like The Transporter. So now I've heard mixed reviews on this one. Speaking of Gary Oldman, here's what he won his Oscar for Best Actor for it was Darkest Hour. He played Winston Churchill. I've heard mixed reviews. I've heard people say it was good. I've heard people say it was bad. It was $5, and I'll check it out before I say a movie's bad. So here's another one that seems kind of fun. The Dead Don't Die. A lot of people again were saying, like dissing on this movie and all that kind of stuff, but I personally think it seems pretty entertaining. I haven't watched it yet, but I want to check it out. I don't mind cheesy zombie stuff. So we'll see how the movie is. Next we have Bruce Willis in Death Wish. Basically he's like a doctor and his family gets attacked or killed or something, and he ends up tracking down the people that attacked or killed his family, and he ends up killing them. So it's kind of like Taken, but it's Bruce Willis. The original Death Wish, though, my dad said was good, and he said he watched this, and it was pretty good, so I want to check that one out, too. Here's one I watched on Disney Channel a long time ago, Descendants. This is the only one of the Descendants I've seen, but I really like Descendants. I think it was a unique concept to have the children of some of the Disney villains as like the main characters. Dirty Harry and Magnum Force 2-pack. I haven't seen either one of them, but Dirty Harry is a classic. Again, 2 Clint Eastwood movies. I do want to watch both of them, so I'll watch them eventually. Django Unchained. A lot of people love this movie. I haven't seen it yet, but it's another one of those Western movies, and I do want to check it out. Here's another one that's on my list of movies to watch, Dr. Sleep. I wanted to see this in theaters. I didn't get around to going to see it. This is the sequel to The Shining, Stephen King's The Shining. Ewan McGregor plays the grown-up version of the little boy from The Shining, and it just seems really interesting. I've heard good things about this, so I do want to check it out. I just haven't gotten around to that yet either. Here's another one that I've heard mixed reviews on. This is Dunkirk. People were saying this was like the best movie ever. Some people were saying this movie sucks. But I'll be the judge of it. I do want to check this out. Here's one I watched like late one night or something like that. I have seen this. This is Fantastic Mr. Fox. This is a phenomenal movie. I didn't read the book, so I don't know like how accurate it is to the book, but I really like this movie. It stars George Clooney and Meryl Streep and some other people, but I do remember liking this when I watched it. I'll have to rewatch it now that I have it. Here's one, Fighting with My Family. This is basically the life story of WWE superstar Paige and her journey to becoming a WWE superstar. It has Dwayne Johnson in it because I guess he was a big part of bringing Paige into WWE, and I wanted to watch this. I haven't gotten around to it yet since I bought it, and I didn't get to see it in theaters. But I've heard mixed reviews again on this one, but I want to check it out because it seems interesting. And we've never really had a movie like that where they go over the like the life story of superstars in a movie format. Like usually if we get one of those, it'll just be a documentary on the superstar, but this one's an actual like movie format, so that was kind of cool. This next one is Fireproof. I don't remember if I've ever seen that. I don't really remember what it's about, but it seems interesting. And I know it's like a Christian movie or something, so I will check it out eventually. This is Gemini Man. This is the one I saw instead of seeing The Addams Family. I went and saw Gemini Man, and I have my ticket for it is actually inside the case. So yeah, Gemini Man. I mean, I didn't mind it. The CGI in it, when they made Will Smith look kind of younger and stuff, because it's basically him playing two separate roles, because he has to play older him and then younger him. So it's, I mean, you can tell that the face is kind of like fake. The face is like CGI, but I didn't mind the movie overall. Other than that, here's another one that I haven't seen yet. This is Get Out. I've heard good things about this movie. I don't know. It was cheap, and I did want to check it out, but I was never really interested in buying it. Like when it first came out, and I was like, all right, $5, I'll buy it. I haven't watched it yet, but I've heard mixed reviews on it. Here's a classic, The Goonies. I have seen this. I watched it on VHS when I was younger, but I haven't watched it on DVD since I bought it. But I have seen this. It's a classic. This next one here sounded interesting. This is the Great Alaskan Race. I bought this because it sounded like a unique kind of like concept for a movie. Basically, this disease like comes to Alaska, and the people in this small Alaskan community end up getting sick, and so this guy has to take his team of dogs. He's one of those, what are they called, the dog sled people, and he has to travel a far distance to find a cure for this new disease that's happening. And so I thought it seemed pretty interesting, and just this slipcover, I love that, with the dog on the top. The Great Wall, I haven't seen this. It was cheap, but it seemed interesting. But I'll check it out eventually. Like I said, I have to watch a movie before I'll get rid of it. But yeah, this next one is Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I watched this a couple times actually. I watched it on Disney Channel, and I've seen it a couple other times. But this is basically Rick Moranis' character creates a machine that can like shrink stuff, and I forget if his kids end up messing with the machine or if he ends up messing with it, but his kids get hit with the machine and they end up getting shrunk, and then it basically follows the kids as they're really tiny, and like the struggles they go through, with now they have to like avoid, if they go outside, they're smaller than the grass, so they have to like avoid the lawnmower, and then in the house they have to avoid the vacuum cleaner and stuff like that. So it's just a really fun Disney movie. I do remember liking that when I watched it the first time. This is Hotel Transylvania. I just recently got this actually. This was cheap, and I've heard good things about these. And this is the first one. There's, I think, 3 of them now. I've wanted to check this out for a while. I just haven't gotten around to seeing it yet, but I've heard good things about it. This next one is Interstellar. Again, another one I've heard good things about. Haven't actually seen it yet, so yeah. The next one we have is Joker, which Joaquin Phoenix actually just won an Oscar for Best Actor for this movie. And so it was, I haven't watched it yet, but people love this movie, and I hope I enjoy it as much as everybody else does. But I do want to watch it. Again, another one of those movies I didn't get to see in theaters. Here's another classic, The Karate Kid. Really good movie. This is the original, not the one with Jaden Smith. That one wasn't bad either, but this one's really good. I haven't seen the other Is there 2 more or is there 3 more? I don't know. But I haven't seen the sequels to this. The last one in this row that I have is Kick-Ass. This movie was fun. I watched this late one night on TV. I was like scrolling through the channels and I came across this. And it was this dude in this like, green outfit fighting this guy that looks like Batman that's played by Nicolas Cage. It's pretty entertaining. I've never seen the second one, but this one seems pretty. I mean, it is pretty entertaining. I have seen Kick-Ass. Now these next ones I'll just be pulling up from this pile down here. So the first one we have is this movie Kidnapped, starring Halle Berry. I got this out of the 374 bin. Again, at Walmart. That's where I buy a lot of my movies. But it seemed kind of interesting. It basically, her son gets kidnapped, and then she has to do what she can to try to track down and find her son. So it seemed kind of interesting, and it was cheap, and I like Halle Berry, so I figured I'd check it out. Here's one that seemed interesting. Killer Man, starring Liam Hemsworth, but he basically plays a killer man. He goes around and he's just like killing people and stuff. And this is a movie I never really heard about, so to find one that like seemed this interesting that I didn't hear about was kind of neat. I found this at Target actually, but I do want to check that one out too. Here's a Laugh Out Loud 3-movie collection. This is Friends with Benefits, Easy A, and The Bounty Hunter. I've heard mixed reviews about some of those. I just checked them out because I heard they were comedies and stuff. I know what some of them are about, but I've never actually seen the full thing. Then we got the Leprechaun 7-movie collection. Don't ask. I've seen parts of the first one, but that's about it. I didn't even know they made 7 of these, honestly. But you have Leprechaun, Leprechaun 2, Leprechaun 3, Leprechaun 4 in space, Leprechaun in the Hood, Leprechaun Back to the Hood, and then Leprechaun Origins, which stars WWE Superstar Hornswoggle. But Warwick Davis is in all the other ones. Again, I've only really seen parts of the first one. I don't know. They seem like kind of cheesy, fun movies that I might enjoy because I'm into that kind of stuff. So I figured I'd check it out. And it was only like, I think $7 for 7 movies, so that was pretty good. Here's another classic, The Little Rascals. If you haven't seen this, what are you doing? This is funny. It's a good kids movie. This next one, here's another classic, Mary Poppins. This is the 50th anniversary edition, but that new Mary Poppins, I didn't actually see the new Mary Poppins Returns, but people were saying it was pretty good, so I might have to check that one out if I find it. Next is Moonlight. It won the Academy Award for Best Picture the year that they messed up the Oscars and they called the wrong name. They said La La Land won, but it was actually Moonlight, and so that caused confusion at the Oscars. But it was really cheap, and it's part of the Best Picture collection, I guess you could say, that I have, because I'm trying to get a bunch of the movies that won Best Picture and check them out and see why they won Best Picture, and I kind of want to do a video where I talk about if a movie I personally think should have won Best Picture, and so I'd have to watch them, but it was $3.74, so I was like, alright, I'll check it out. But I mean, it does seem interesting. I just don't know if it was Best Picture worthy. This one my mom got me for Christmas, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. It is a classic, but I've never actually seen it. So I'll have to get around to watching that. Maybe around Christmas time this year I'll watch it. This one I had, just like Conehead, or just like Brokeback Mountain and Better Off Dead. This is Nicktoons Halloween. It's got a bunch of old like Nickelodeon shows and stuff, and it's got different. So it's got like a SpongeBob SquarePants one, which is called Scaredy Pants. It's got Rugrats, The Curse of the Werewolf, Rocket Power, It Came from Planet Merv, and Netherworld Night, Hey Arnold, Arnold's Halloween, and then the Fairly Odd Parents, Scary Godparents. I've seen a couple of these. These are just fun. Like, it's Halloween versions of our favorite Nickelodeon shows. So that's kind of cool. I love the classic Nickelodeon shows. 9 Lives. I haven't actually seen this. I've heard mixed reviews on it, but I'll check it out. The next one is a 2-pack of Olympus Has Fallen and White House Down, which is pretty much the same movie. I bought this for White House Down because I already had Olympus Has Fallen. But now that I think about it, I think I've seen this and I don't think it was that good. But I'll rewatch it, before I judge if it was good or not. But Olympus Has Fallen was really good. It's the only one out of the Fallen trilogy, as I call it, that I've actually seen. I have Angel Has Fallen, but I haven't watched it yet, and I don't have London Has Fallen. I've never seen it. So next is the Rocky 6-film, I think it's six film collection. This has Rocky, Rocky 2, Rocky 3, Rocky 4, Rocky 5, and Rocky Balboa. I think that's all the Rocky movies, except the Creed ones. Yeah, I've never seen a full Rocky movie. I've seen a lot of the first one, but I've never actually seen any of the other ones, and I don't know the full first one either, so I'll have to get around to watching those too. This next one stars Benicio del Toro, Josh Brolin, and Emily Blunt, and it's called Sicario. I've heard good things about this, and I found it for super cheap, and I was like, alright, I'll check it out, because it seems interesting. So, yeah, I don't know, leave me in the comments if you've seen this and if it's good or not, because I want to check it out. Here's a 3-pack I found for $5 at Walmart. It's got Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events, The Spiderwick Chronicles, and Hugo, which, if you watched my first video, you know that I had, like, my own copy of, like a burnt copy of A Series of Unfortunate Events, and now I have the actual movie, so that's cool. But I've seen this. I haven't seen Spiderwick or Hugo. I've heard good things about Hugo. A lot of people like that movie, so I want to check those out. That's why I bought it. This next one I have is Tag. Again, people were saying this was a funny movie, and it was, again, cheap, because I'm cheap. I buy a lot of movies like later on after they come out. I didn't buy this right when it came out. I bought it later on and got it for like $5. But I really I haven't seen it yet, but a lot of people were saying it's good, so I should probably get around to seeing it. Next we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I've heard people say that this one was better than the originals. I've heard people say it was worse than the originals. I just want to check it out before I determine if it's a good movie or not. Next is Tommy Boy, starring Chris Farley and David Spade. Again, my dad told me this movie was hilarious, and for $5 at Walmart, I figured I could check it out. But yeah, Tommy Boy, I don't really know what it's about, but anything that has Chris Farley and David Spade in it together is probably going to be a good movie. The next one I just found recently for $5 at Walmart was V for Vendetta. And this is one that, again, I've been wanting to get for a while because I've heard good things about this movie. And I've been wanting to check it out, and I could just never find it. Like, I'd check, I'd go to FYE, I couldn't find it. I'd go to a collectible store, I couldn't find it. I couldn't find this anywhere, and so I found it the other day on the shelf at Walmart for, I think, $5 or maybe lower. But I was like, alright, while I'm here, I'll buy it. It has Natalie Portman and Hugo Weaving, and I've heard great things about this, and I've wanted to check it out, so I can't wait to watch it. The next one is one of my favorite Pixar films. This is WALL-E. If you haven't seen this, you haven't seen a Pixar movie. Because WALL-E was great. I mean, this was... I don't think I've ever been as emotionally captured by a movie, other than like Toy Story 3, than I was with WALL-E. And I have seen this. I just, for whatever reason, every time I looked to try to find it, I couldn't find it anywhere. And then the one day I found it, I'm like, I'm gonna grab it while I'm here. So I've had it for a while. I haven't rewatched it yet, but I do want to rewatch it because it is a great movie. And if you haven't seen WALL-E, go check it out because it is a great movie. This next one, you might laugh, but this is Wendy Wu, Homecoming Warrior. And the reason I got this was because Disney used to do these Disney Channel original movies on Disney Channel, and this was one of my favorites. And I pretty much bought it just for like the nostalgia factor. And it was like $2. So I was like, it was actually an add-on, I think, the one time when I bought something on Amazon or whatever. It was like an add-on item, I think. And so I was like, sure, I'll just throw it in, why not? But it came with Disney Movie reward points, so that was good. But this is, I mean, if you haven't checked it out, this and High School Musical were two of my favorite Disney Channel original movies. I don't know why I like this one so much. I just did. But yeah, I have it. I'm probably the only person in the world that actually has that on DVD. This next one I've heard good things about too, Wind River. I know a lot of people like this movie. It stars Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen. Elizabeth Olsen plays some kind of cop, like a local cop or FBI or something, and Jeremy Renner plays, I think, like an animal tracker or something like that, and they end up having to solve a crime, but like together. So she has to use her cop skills, he has to use his tracking skills, and they end up figuring out the murder or the crime or whatever it was that happened. But it seemed interesting, and I know, like I said, a lot of people do like it, and a lot of people have seen it. So let me know your thoughts on this movie, Wind River, because I do want to check this out. That's high up on my list of ones to watch. This next one's another one I had laying around at my house, and Wolverine and the X-Men, Deadly Enemies. This is an animated, Wolverine movie. I want to check it out just because it's an animated Wolverine type of thing, and I'm not really familiar with all the X-Men, like, comic books and stuff, because I haven't read all of them, and so these animated series are pretty fun sometimes, so I do want to check this out. I don't know if this one's good or not, but I had it, and I was like, alright, I'll just check it out. This next one is Zombieland. This is another one that a lot of people love, because it's funny. It starred Woody Harrelson, Jesse Eisenberg, Emma Stone, and Abigail Breslin. I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard good things about it, so I will check this one out. Oops. And then we got a couple more here. We got 21 and 22 Jump Street 2-pack. Again, heard mixed reviews on both of them, but They're comedies, and I haven't seen either one of them. I will check it out, but I don't know if I'm gonna like them. But hey, that's a $5 movie at Walmart. I'll buy anything pretty much. These next two I got fairly recently, and I haven't, taken the discs out of them yet. So the discs are still in these. This is Turbo, which I've seen, and this is a pretty good DreamWorks movie. Not too bad. And then Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines. I just bought this to go with the other Terminators. I haven't seen the first two yet, but I have 1 and 2, and now I found 3 the other day. So I bought 3 just to go with them, but I haven't seen any of them. And then this last movie here I actually found today at Walmart, and this is what happens when you dig into the bottom of the $5 bin at Walmart. You find stuff like this, and I had this movie on VHS, and I really enjoyed it when I was younger, and so for nostalgia factor, I bought it for $3.74 from Walmart. But this is Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. And if you're familiar with the song Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer, they made this movie based off of that. So like this grandmother gets hit by Santa Claus, and the kid has to her grandson witnesses it, and then has to try to prove to everybody that Santa's real and that something else didn't happen to Grandma. But I mean, they take it right from the song, because he even has a cousin, Mel, and Grandpa tries to sue Santa, and it's just, I mean, it's a fun time. But this is what happens when you dig in the bottom of the $5 bin or $3.74 bin at Walmart. This is hilarious. I can't believe I found this. But that was pretty much an update so far of all the movies I've recently got. I can show like pictures of the other ones that I already put away that I don't have the cases with. If you guys want to see that, I can do that in another video where I talk about other ones that I got. And then I can show my wrestling movies if anybody's interested, because I didn't show those last time in my DVD collection either. But I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of new movies. I know The Call of the Wild comes out next week, and I want to see that. And then Knives Out comes out on DVD on February 25th, I think. So I'll be buying Knives Out on DVD, so you can add that into this collection. But that's pretty much it for this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Please, if you've seen any of these movies that I haven't seen, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think of the movies, or let me know what you think of my updated collection part so far. Obviously, it's gonna keep growing. There's a lot more that comes in than goes out, but that's pretty much the nature of collecting. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and like this video, subscribe to the channel to check out what else we got going on, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.